I have a quote from Anne Lamott. Hope begins in darkness. The stubborn hope that if you just show up and try to do the right thing, the dawn will come. Now, for some people, I have found that they have an entire graveyard of buried hopes. But for other people, they are very hopeful and they think the best is going to happen and they think the future is going to be better and that their goals are going to be manifested. So it's just a different thing that I see in terms of hope. Myself, I have a foot in both doors. I have a foot in the hopeless door. Number one, I'm older, so I'm closer to death. Number two, my family is probably never going to get it together. I mean, I'm kind of back in connection with my brother, but the rest of the family is just separated from me. And I'm hopeless about romantic love and soulmates and all that kind of stuff. I'm hopeless about men in our society who I think are bringing violence and toxicity. And it's not all of them, of course, but I just like to see men step up and do better. I'm kind of hopeless about that happening. I also am hopeful. I'm hopeful about my health and my vitality because I've done pretty good so far. I mean, maybe it's wishful thinking, I don't know. And I'm also hopeful because I just don't want to be cynical. If you think about it, if we were all cynical, how would we deal with grief and, bad things and war and all those terrible things if we didn't have hope? I'm hopeful that women and people of color will eventually really be equal in our culture. I'm hopeful that I have a good death, and that's described by me in a certain way, in my style of a good death. I think sometimes we have too much hope in certain circumstances. Like, for instance, I think doctors, because people are hopeful that their loved ones will come out of a coma, will, come out of a very bad disease that's terminal. And so doctors are very aggressive and they do expensive procedures because everyone wants to keep that hope that that person can be alive. So I think sometimes hope doesn't always serve us well. My philosophy kind of on hope is that it may just be delayed happiness. If you think about that, because hope is always about the future and what's going to happen in the future, not now. It's kind of delayed happiness, I think. Do you think hope is delayed happiness?